A generation of Generation Cowboys and Sports Talks. My dad, my partner, my co-host, Cowboy Joe 64.
I am your father.
This will get the Cowboys two good games to hopefully understand that they need to go receiver and go high with this next pick.
Yeah, yeah, that's really what this is gonna be about. All right, welcome back, everyone. You're looking live at Generation to Generation Cowboys and Sports Talks. I'm the host, DJ Itelluwhat, and I'm joined with my co-host, my dad, Cowboy Joe 64, aka Capricorn One on Twitter, and we are back with another episode. I know it's been a while. It's been about 5 or 6 days since we've been back, but we back, and since we've been gone, there's been a few hirings, a few coaches have gotten hired, and so we're here to break this down and talk about how we feel about the whole thing. You want to say what's up to everybody and kind of say what you want to discuss today and how you feel about a few things?
What's up, everybody? Appreciate you guys joining in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, we got a couple of new coaches. We got Adams, the offensive coordinator from the Cardinals, and he's an O-line coach, which is really a specialty. And then we got Matt Eberflus, which we're going to talk about. I think Matt Eberflus is the one that I'm kind of most concerned about. So you fill the people in on what you've been hearing and seeing about Matt Eberflus and Adams, the new offensive coordinator, O-line coach. Is Solari still hanging, or what are they going to do there?
I thought they would bring it in someone else for that position, from what I heard.
Yeah, I heard a couple of names, so I didn't know if anything had actually came down. But a lot of people, of course, hoping that Solari is out. And I saw today Eric Bieniemy got hired by Ben Johnson. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what we were saying earlier. Your head coach, in some instances, your head coach is going to be the determining factor or the brain behind your organization. You know, like when you look at Kansas City, and you have a really dynamic coach in Andy Reid, but you also have a really dynamic coordinator in Spagnuolo, and it always doesn't translate that way because, like, you can look at Bieniemy. Everybody thought that he was the reason for the success in Kansas City, but it turns out that he wasn't. So with these coordinators, it's a very, very, very part of the hiring process. The coordinator is a very, very important job. This is how coaches are made, really. You know, the coordinator position is very, very important. So with us, in our instance, in our case, I felt like we felt like the coordinators were just as important as the head coach, or if not more important than the head coach, depending on who your head coach is. And being that our head coach is Brian Schottenheimer, it's really, really important. The main hire is going to be our offensive coordinator. You can hire Brian Schottenheimer to be like a CEO type of coach, but it really matters on who you hire as your coordinator. And so they got Clayton Adams from what I'm hearing about him is that he's a offensive he's a running back guru. I mean, you can just look at the Arizona Cardinals stats last year in their running game, and you can see how impactful he was. And everywhere he's been, they are all ranting and raving about how good he is in the running game. I mean, they were talking about on the Fan a couple days ago how much they've how the different kind of plays that they running plays that they have that Arizona ran last year, the counters, the pulls, the traps, the running wide. I mean, we all complained last year about, and we've been complaining for a while, that when the Cowboys run the ball, they run the ball straight up to the middle every time, and they get no yards. So they were doing that all year. And that was Mike McCarthy's thing. It seemed to me that Mike McCarthy didn't have a running game or a running scheme that required some that had, like, some some sweeps or some traps or some inside and outside zone. He didn't have none of that. All he had was hand the ball off to the right, run up the A gap. That's it. And so you could tell off top that Brian Schottenheimer. Now his dad, it was known for being a run first head coach. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, they called it Marty Ball. They very
Right.
physical team. They were, the Cowboys in the 90s, you got that legendary running game. Marty Schottenheimer's teams were like that. They just physically, they would just pound you. Now, what he got a lot of criticism for is because he didn't really have a lot of imagination in the passing game, because he would literally just run it. I mean, you would have to. He was one of those kind of coaches. You knew they were going to run it, and you really couldn't stop him. So his brand of football was just physicality. That's where Bill Cowher was one of that. Bill Cowher came off his staff. I don't know if you knew that.
I did. I heard that.
Yeah, so that's what he did everywhere he went. He brought physicality. So
Well, what
you
we
know,
can see is that his son is kind of Brian Schottenheimer. He's picked up the shot. He's picked up the same thing. He came in the press conference day one, letting us know that
mm-hmm.
he wanted to run. That they want to run the ball. Which the NFL was getting away from that type of football, but these last year with Saquon and with
Jahmyr Gibbs, you can
Jahmyr
pat yourself
Gibbs.
on the back, because you talked about Jahmyr Gibbs, and you were way ahead of a lot of people on that. You said that he should have been, picked a lot higher, but he ended up going. Where did he end up going?
Uh,
Jahmyr Gibbs, was he like 12?
yeah, something like
Right,
that.
probably where we're picking at now, right?
Right. Yeah, he was.
So,
Yeah.
so I like Henderson from Ohio State. He has that kind of speed to me.
Mm-hmm.
I really haven't seen just what does Genty actually run? This what does he run? Do you know?
I don't know what he runs, but I will tell you, the
Hopefully he
difference
goes to the
between track speed and football
football
speed.
speed.
He has football speed for real. He
Yeah.
does. I'm gonna look up and see what he
I wonder
runs.
if I can't wait to see the combine to see what he runs if he goes.
He runs at 4.2.
Well, and again, a lot of these numbers too, you got to be skeptical of some of, but be that as it may, I know that he's fast.
Well, no, it doesn't say that he ran a 4.2. I take that back. It said that he ran 4.42.
That sounds probably more realistic. I don't know what Jahmyr Gibbs ran. You can probably look it up. And but yeah, I think so. Kind of what we see with our draft, man, it's going to be half of our
4-3.
fan base 4-3. So half of our fan base is going to be pretty happy on draft day, and then half of our fan base is going to be pretty upset. I also think we got to look at the possibility, because of what we've seen with Saquon and with Jahmyr Gibbs. I think it's very possible that Genty doesn't even get to us.
I don't think he's going to get to us at all. I don't. That's why I changed my mind to saying I wanted to pick him, because I don't think he's going to get to us. And also, you see what I'm starting to notice too is that the Cowboys, they're kind of being forced to do the right thing in some of these situations. They're being forced to do the right thing, and it's not by proxy. Like, for instance, if they draft Jahmyr Gibbs, if they draft Genty, he's there. That's sexy to them. That gets the fans involved. They know they need a running back, but it's also like, yeah, it's sexy. It's a sexy pick. They want, they want to do that because of the fans and all the media and all that kind of stuff. But if he's not there, then that means that y'all have to pick a running back. The whole alluring part of it is gone now.
Yeah.
So now you got to get down to the nitty gritty. You got to get a running back just as good as Genty, because they are there. They are here in a draft, and you got to get one. One.
I don't think there is no way possible that they come out of this draft in the first 3 rounds without a back. You got Henderson, Junkin, the kid from North Carolina. So there is no way you don't come out of this draft in the first 3 picks. Marion Hampton. There's no way you don't come out of this draft with a running back in the first 3 rounds. I think you need to do it in 1 or 2, and then I'm kind of conflicted on. I'm really sort of preparing myself and you were ahead of this too. Give you your credit. Weeks and weeks ago, you said they might need to take an offensive tackle that can play for the next 10 or 12 years, and that's Simmons from Ohio State. So Broch Lombardi and Brian Broaddus, shout out to them. They did a mock draft and they had Simmons. And when you look at Simmons, I look at him, he looks like Tyron Smith. He looks like Eric Williams. He looks like a Cowboy lineman should look.
He
Now,
do.
some of those linemen, though, that you liked over the years when they coming into the league, they're not really doing good that first year. So,
Yeah.
but he looks dominant. I mean, you could draft him with that first pick if Gentry is not there, and then you can get Henderson or Junkin in the second round, and then I'm trying to figure out a way in the third round. You got to get Trey Harris or Savion Williams from TCU. So you get your starting tackle, left tackle, your running back, and you get a receiver. And I'm thinking I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get, Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper. We did find out that Mike McCarthy didn't like Cooper, so maybe the bridges are not burned. This might be one of those things where, Shotty just pick up the phone and call him and say, "Hey, I need you to come and play." And Amari Cooper is not the kind of guy that's gonna be like, "Nah, I ain't coming back there."
No, he not. And I'm gonna do another thing too. Now I might be drinking the Kool-Aid or something like that, but my whole thing is my whole, especially over the last 4 or 5 years, I'd say, um, just with my expertise in watching the games and all of that, it's just like, you don't want to make it seem like you don't want to drink the Kool-Aid and just, you want to call it for what it is. And it's just like, we know that the way that the organization is ran from the top to bottom is the problem. We don't have to guess, and we're not those typical fans that said Dak is the problem. That my opinion is Dak is not the problem. You know what I mean? A lot of people say that Dak is the problem. A lot of people say that Jerry is the problem. I don't think that Jerry is the problem. That's not my opinion. So I try to look at everything from a perspective like of what really is going on. And when I look at what really is going on, it's like they don't use free agency. They don't draft particularly well. They don't sign the right players, and they're not aggressive in free agency. They don't sign the right players. They don't do those type of things. And then when the coaches, they don't they don't hire the right kind of coaches, and it's not just the head coach. They don't hire the right kind of coaches. But the reason why I say I'm drinking the Kool-Aid is because everybody was down on Schottenheimer. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid because after what I've seen them do, I'm kind of up on Schottenheimer now, because it's just like, yeah, Schottenheimer. Remember how I told you that we might need, instead of us needing the coach like Ben Johnson, or instead of us needing a specific coach that can do it. I remember how I told you that we need somebody that they trust, that they like, that can come in, have a change of heart, and change the way that they do things. Remember, I used Kellen as an example. I was like, what we need Kellen to come in, but when Kellen comes in, now all of a sudden he's a different person. He's a person that is making them utilize free agency. He's a person that's saying, nah, we need to keep Coop and we need to let Gallup go. We need a person that they trust to come in and change their whole thought process, like Jimmy did. When Jimmy came in, he was the GM and he built the team and they had success. Okay, and then when Jerry and Steven took the responsibility from Steven, that was the first domino to fall, and then the team fell apart after that.
From
Well, it's
Jimmy.
just like, right. So it's just like with Schottenheimer, he didn't came in and he didn't got hired, and it's just like all of a sudden, it's just like he's making these calls and getting these coordinators that we never heard of. You know how we always say you never know who it's going to be, but it's going to be a coordinator that's been a tight ends coach or been a running back coach, that he's going to be the one that turns into Sean McVay. He's the one that turns into Matt LaFleur. Well, that's who Clayton Adams is. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's a guy that everybody around the league likes, that everybody is just like, yes, this guy does something good. We can point directly at it. And it's something that we do bad. So it's just like, and then it's just like, okay, we know that we need running backs. We need weapons, offensive weapons. Shotty came in, and on day one, he's saying we are going to run the ball. That's what we're doing. And not only is he saying that, he's actually making it look like that. He went and he hired. He went and he interviewed. It's so easy. It's so clear what he did. What he did was he just went onto the coordinators list, into the coaches list, and said which teams ran the ball the best last year. Who did that? We want those coaches. We're interviewing them. So you got your interviewing. So you interviewing Detroit's people, then you interviewing the Cardinals people, and you interviewing all these people, and then you made a decision. And you might end up with both. And so that's how.
And now they're talking to show a choice, which that's smart.
Again, somebody else that's just like what we can look and see what he does, and what he does is good. We can see that he had an influence on Bijan Robinson. We could see that he had an influence on Jahmyr Gibbs and all of the other Texas running backs that was the guy that takes towards ACL. We can see those things, and so it's just like, okay, they're letting Shotty do his thing.
So my pushback, and I agree 100% everything that you're saying. What I think they would have did, to me, they would have knocked it out of the park if they had gone to the Kansas City Chiefs and said, I want to talk to somebody on your defensive staff about our coordinator job. And I would have been more happy with if they had to hire somebody off Zim's staff or off Dan Quinn's staff. So the Eberflus thing has me. It's the only one that I'm just concerned about. I just watched the video before we came on the air. Corriere Media, he's one of the OGs. Yeah, he's doing a breakdown of Clayton Adams, Arizona. Mm-hmm. They just running through the Bears, just killing them. Mm-hmm. And his video is basically saying how, Adams, his running schemes are like, just off the charts, but he's showing how they're running against Eberflus. So that's my only pushback. I just want to see what he's going to do. I do think what I do like about it is these coaches understand that right now, as we sit here currently with Cowboy Nation, they don't have no room for error. Nobody has any patience. So Eberflus, whatever his best coaching that he's ever done in his life, he's going to have to do it because we could have went a different direction there. I'm just very curious to see what he's going to do with Micah and Sam Williams. And, I think Zim and Dan Quinn. So Zim, Dan Quinn, obviously, he launched Micah's career. And then last year, Zim took it up another level. So I want to see Eberflus come in. Is he going to be able to take, Micah even higher than where he is? Or, so that's going to be the key. But this Marinelli style defense, it just bedevils me. Who in the front office thought that was a good idea? Because he's probably going to come in with this defense where your defensive linemen are just running upfield, just like a bat out of hell. And what's happening is teams like Clayton Adams, when you do that, you can get trapped and you can get pushed upfield. And when that gap you're running out of, the running back is now coming through that gap, running downhill. That's one of the things that hurt LVE, which, I never was an LVE fan. But one of the things that hurt him was our defensive scheme left him unprotected. We had our linemen running upfield, leaving the gap open, and these running backs are just running downhill straight at him.
Yeah, he was over pursuing a lot. But we'll see what I'm hoping that happened. Like I said, I could be drinking the Kool-Aid again on Eberflus, but what I'm hoping that happen is you got Andre Curtis, who was hired, and you got David Overstreet that was hired. Now, Eberflus, he's, if I'm not mistaken, what I heard was that the Bears, I think it's either the Bears or whoever it was. I think it was the Bears that they led the league in pressures, or they was on top. They was top in pressures for the last ever since Eberflus has been there, or something like that. I heard. But my whole thing is
they've been in the top. They've been a top defense category wise and stat wise. But on our show, you're a stat guy. I'm not. So, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because we know that stats don't necessarily translate to winning. But because you can have the number one offense like we did and then lose in the first round of playoffs. So, but I'm just saying, Another thing I also been saying too is kind of like, okay, we have a defense, but we have good players on our defense already. So it's just like some of these things you're not gonna. I don't think he gonna coach down per se. You
Mm.
know what I mean? I think that at the basis at the bottom line, Micah is gonna be who Micah is, no matter
Yeah,
what he
and
doing.
Sam is coming back.
Right, and you
So
got Osa that they need to get signed.
yeah, we don't know if Osa's coming now. This is the next thing I want to ask you on your Kool-Aid, your Kool-Aid affair.
What's that?
I'm, I'm I'm thinking about George Clinton. He got all of these different characters, and
Hmm.
so what are you thinking about free agency? You drinking the Kool-Aid that they gonna really do something in free agency? Like they gonna step up? And because here's the thing, and people are pointing this out too that I follow. They really don't have a choice because they have so many guys that they're losing. You gonna have to
Hmm.
participate in free agency. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah. I think that they're. When I think that, I mean, what I think is that they're embarrassed. I think that for the first time that they have actually, like, we got to get immediate credit. Sometimes we don't get immediate credit. We don't. We on our show, we're critical of the media, and we're a
Well,
part
we're
of the
we're
media.
critical of the legacy media,
Yeah, we're critical of the
not
legacy
new
media.
media. New
Not
media doing their
right.
thing. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Not the new media, not the YouTubers, not the
new
Clarence Hill.
media is bringing fire.
That's right. And I feel like the legacy media, and from what I've been seeing, you know, the legacy media is getting their questions from the new media, and then they're taking their degrees and they're making our questions sound professional and non-confrontational.
Well, I've been telling you that anybody fresh out of journalism school could ask them questions without making them like want to fight and offending them. And Patrick No.C. Walker, shout out to him. That whole press conference they did, to me, he asked the question. He asked it the right way. He
Mhm,
wasn't offensive. Now,
mhm.
some of the other guys, to me, they could have like really just nailed him if they wanted to. They did with Patrick No.C. Walker. His question, and I wish there had been some other guys with some follow ups, but yeah, that's what you're saying. So
Yeah.
we
And even if the guy that went before Patrick, he hit him with something too. He was the one that made him do the air quotes.
I can't remember who that was.
He the one. He the one. He was just like,
So
so.
Steven, the press conference, them not clapping for him, and then the air quote thing. So he heard all about it, and I also believe I'm 100% for sure that this Ad No Kellen movement that new media started, that's one of the reasons Kellen didn't get this job. I actually think it had an impact. They said it was like a million something Ad No Kellen hashtags.
I'm telling you,
And I'm
man.
speaking for somebody that don't even know how hashtags work.
Nigga,
So
I'm telling you that it's that's why I said the first thing I said is I think that they were embarrassed. I think that they have the spotlight is on him. It's like for the first time we're hearing Stephen Jones say things that we're like, oh, really? You're going to change what you do? Are
boy,
you are you going
he,
to do
but
that?
he's still the I gotta wait and see because
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
I was gonna say. So what I think is that I think that we're gonna have to just wait and see. But I
yeah.
think that I believe it when I see it. But just in all reality, it just doesn't make sense for you to hire someone. And then Steven, this is your guy, by the way, that you hired. Schottenheimer is your guy. So you're gonna bring your guy in here, and then Schottenheimer was about to leave anyway because Schottenheimer said if I'm not calling plays, I'm out. So
And
you mean
and not to talk over you, but we kind of had like breaking news again. So Brian Broaddus, when he speaks, you listen. Brian Broaddus is still insisting that Steven wanted to fire uh, McCarthy after the Green Bay game, and it wasn't Jerry. I always thought it was the other way around. But going back to your Steven thing with Schottenheimer,
Mhm.
okay. So what I've been talking to you about, and your uncle over the years, that sometimes you just get lucky. You get lucky and you hire a LaFleur. The Minnesota Vikings got lucky; they hired O'Connell. Um, you kind of see in what's happened with Jerry over the years. He's never been lucky to hire the right coach. The Jason Garrett, Wade Phillips, those are pretty predictable. And I was telling you last week that if you had told me 10 years ago that I had a choice between Schottenheimer, Shotty, and Jason Garrett, it wouldn't even been close because Shotty, his background, all the teams he's been on, he talked about his P. Curl influence. Jason Garrett worked for Jimmy Johnson and played for Jimmy. You could never tell. He actually worked for Nick Saban. You could never tell he worked for Nick Saban, but Schottenheimer, Shotty, you can kind of tell all these coaches that he's worked for, his dad, P. Carroll, you can kind of see it. And now, a lot of people been watching Shotty too the last couple of years, like at training camp. When people went to training camp, if you had just watched camp, you would have thought he was the head coach, just the way he carried himself.
I know, I know. You have to remember when the first time I seen Schottenheimer, I mean the first time I seen Shotty, and I asked you about him. I said, "Who is this?" I said, "Who is this guy?" He sounds like he really know what he's
Yeah,
talking about. I asked you
yeah.
about that, and I remember what you said. I'm not gonna say what you said, but I
Well,
remember
I
what you
think
said.
what I said was I was curious why nobody had him on the list to be hired and nobody was talking to him.
Yeah.
And so, again, just kind of really being able to focus in on him and just getting refreshed with him. I kind of feel a whole lot better about it. But like months ago, if you had told me Schottenheimer was a guy that we were looking at, I wouldn't have been like that excited because I had the same thought. Nobody has wanted to talk to him. Then I found out that he had some people that did want to interview him and talk to him. And then kind of learned little bit more about his background. And just the more I learned about him, just kind of getting like refreshed on where he come from and what he's done. I
And then
mean,
one
look,
thing with Shotty, first of all, I'm gonna give pushback on one of the things. First of all, so McVay, LaFleur, I think it's the Vikings coach,
O'Connell,
O'Connell, Mike McDonald,
McDaniel,
Mike McDaniel. Um, what's our guy in Houston?
slow it.
Bobby Slowick. They all were not. These were not like
Household names.
Yeah, but they weren't. This wasn't no lucky. This wasn't no like, oh, these coaches. I mean, these owners got lucky and hired them. It
Mm,
wasn't like that. They all came from a spot. They all had a certain thing that they had in common, and that's why they were. That's why
yeah.
they were. It wasn't just like they were just lucky. No, those guys came from Shanahan's tree, and it was just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are the guys that have been studying up under his tutelage. Those
Yeah.
are his proteges. Let's interview them. They all aced the interviews. They all got hired. So it wasn't like
Well,
a,
I
a,
guess
a luck type of
so. I
deal.
guess what I'm saying is, so my point was, maybe it's not luck, but my point was, our organization, Jerry Jones, for whatever reason, he hasn't been able to see excellence in other organizations and go after that. Like I
Yeah.
said, he had multiple chances to hire Spagnuolo. He never did.
Mm-hmm.
He had
North.
chances to hire Norv. And so whatever this thing is, and then I'm gonna go back to like Ben Johnson. So Ben Johnson didn't come from one of those trees. So that was a lucky hire where you lucked up and you did find a guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so sometimes it can be either or. But I mean, you're right. You really got to go to the tree if you want to get a good apple. And Jerry just has never been a smart enough GM
It's
to
just
go
like
to
to
the
me. It's
tree.
just like, what does he have against Shanahan to where you just didn't go get him?
I'm gonna say what I've been saying on our show. He doesn't have anything against Shanahan. He's not a football smart enough person to go to the tree. See,
This is
people,
just
and,
crazy.
and again, I want to remind people what I keep saying on our show. Um, and it's almost like I'm gonna go like OG on this. I'm gonna go history, like the JFK assassination.
Mhm.
People come up with all kinds of reasons about Lee Harvey Oswald, about what happened in all this, and how many assassins it was. About bottom line, he did it, and it was just simple. It was just him. So Jerry, he's like the JFK Lee Harvey Oswald theory, at the end of the day, Jerry is just not good at football. So he hasn't gone to the Shanahan tree. And with this with the defensive coordinator, somebody in the front office should have been smart enough to say, let's go look at Spagnuolo's staff. And I'm hearing that they came pretty close to hiring Salah. I don't know if that's true or not. So my thing is, if you were not able to get Salah, somebody should have been smart enough to say, wait a minute, hold up. Let's go try to find one of his assistant coaches, hire somebody that was under him. But yeah, no. And I keep saying about the cap. We go around and around and around about Steven with the cap. At the end of the day, Steven is just not good at the cap. He doesn't know what he's doing. That's just it. Him and Adam Pacifica, they're just not good at the cap.
So they're just not good at it.
Yeah, and it's not a whole lot to it more than that. So
and then another thing too. Also, what I think another thing that's happening too is new age media and the information age. It's people out here like me and you that can look at these things and we can just do them. We can just look at these things. The cap is it's public information.
Well, you got a lot of new media people. They're just good at understanding math and the numbers and how it works. Jeff Kavanaugh, they could hire Jeff tomorrow to run the Cowboys cap.
They absolutely could.
They could hire Outlaw.
They could hire Outlaw. They could hire they could.
And so
you're right.
And so at the end of the day, one of the things that Steven needs to do this offseason right here is just face the fact that they haven't done a good job with the cap. They need to get somebody from the 49ers, the Chiefs, Eagles, or the Ravens, the Eagles, to come in and take over this cap.
And it's just like Jerry said. So like Jerry said, we want to get better and we want to get whatever he said, way better, exponentially better at the cap. Well, at least if you've ever been in any kind of if you've ever been in any kind of anything, the first thing you got to do is admit that you're wrong about something. If you want to get better, you have to realize that if you've ever played sports, when your coach pull you to the side and say you're doing this wrong, the first thing you have to do is tell yourself, okay, I'm doing this wrong, even though I thought I was doing it right. I am doing it wrong. And then after that, it's the willingness to be able to fix yourself. They have not had that.
And then what Jerry needs to do too, he needs to be able to understand that, this is your son that's running this part of the organization. It needs to be Jerry, Charlotte, Jerry Jr. They need to be the ones talking to Steven and Adam Pacifica saying, hey guys, let's just have a come to Jesus meeting on the salary cap. You guys are not doing a good job. We need to go in a different direction. And if they real smart about it, just like we were talking about the press conference where you ain't really got to slam them to answer a good question. Mm-hmm. If they're just smart, they can make their adjustment on the cap and start handling the cap differently. Mm-hmm. And the public probably wouldn't even pick up on it.
Man, it can be done so easily.
Yeah.
And then that's another thing that just drives me insane. I know it drives you insane and drives a lot of other Cowboy fans insane. It's not that many things that need to be done to where it would take you 5 or 6 years to fix this. You can fix this team in one off season.
Yeah.
It can be done.
In this off season, they're going to be forced to do that because there's so many free agents we have on our team. I don't think they're going to be able to sign Rico. I don't think they're going to be able to sign Odigizua. The numbers I'm hearing from Odigizua, the Cowboys are not paying that. He's going to get generational money. They're not going to be able to afford Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis has not made generational money. So this is probably his only shot. So they're not going to be able to sign him. I mean, now let me say this. They can, but they're
should.
not.
No, they should. Yeah. They should. Because we need to be signing him.
Well, and I talked about Eberflus. Mm-hmm. If some Spirit of Detroit, we look at our comments.
Yeah, I'm looking. Go ahead. What were you saying?
What I was going to say is that's another reason why I didn't like the change to Eberflus, because someone like Jordan Lewis, he's trying to make his big contract. He don't even know a whole lot about the scheme we're running. So if he can get the money with Washington or somewhere else now. we need to go back and look. I don't think he was here when Eberflus was here, but I don't. Eberflus hadn't been coaching him, so
Well, I seen the picture. I put on the thumbnail. I put a picture with Eberflus and Sean Lee. So, but Jordan Lewis, Jordan Lewis, I had wrote Jordan Lewis off. I really did. And in the last couple of years, he really stepped up and improved and showed a lot. So I wish they would sign him because he is one of those guys on our team that we need. He's like a foundational piece. And then so with the Eberflus thing, it's kind of like I've been saying. It's like it's not so our defense is we have a good foundation of our defense. We have good skill, we have good players at good positions to have them at. Like we got good corners. We got Micah, we got linebackers that we need better linebackers. But for the most part, I don't think Eberflus is gonna come in and just like coach us down and have us worse than we've ever been for the last 2 or 3 years. I
I
think that
agree.
I think that when he comes in, especially with the people that he's bringing in, like the other guys, like again, I keep on saying it. I keep on saying it. It ain't just one coach that you got to focus on. It's multiple coaches. Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
when we had Dan Quinn. When we had Dan Quinn, yeah, you want to look at Dan Quinn and say he's the reason why the defense is doing what it's doing, but you cannot count out Al Harris, and you
Mm-hmm.
cannot count George. What was George's name? What was his last name?
George Edwards. I was hoping that they would look at him. That would have been another person they could have interviewed. And
Man,
so
you can't count out George Edwards. And you can then there's another guy. What was
Joe
McCarthy's?
Witt.
You can't count out Joe Witt Jr. Those are
Yeah.
good. Those are good. Those that
Now,
they have impact on the defense.
now, Dan Quinn, 2 years in a row, his defense kind of got, you know, smoked in the playoffs to the tune of like 50 some points 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
But going back to Eberflus, I will give him credit because he started out with Rob Ryan and they were playing a 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows how to attack a defense with a 3-4 edge, which is what Micah and Sam Williams are.
Mm-hmm.
So I can absolutely see him coming in and just mixing things up to where on any given play, you don't really know where guys are coming from. He's going from 3-4-4-3 to 4-2-5. He can do all of that.
And then again, we this is 2025.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a 4-3-3-4
4-3 and
thing
4.
no more.
Yeah, I
This is
agree
a
with
more
that.
this,
Yeah.
this is a multiple D thing, and you just got to use your players for what they're best at, what they're
Mm-hmm.
best at, and especially if you have a player that can do all of the things, like Micah. Micah could go play corner if he needed to. You
So
know what I'm saying? So,
let's shout out to Malcolm Williams for joining in. Appreciate you joining in and checking our channel out. Thanks a lot. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
I told him welcome in the comments. I
Yeah.
responded to him in the comments. Yeah, so welcome, Malcolm. Yeah, I hope you tune in and enjoy the show. And then if you have any questions, you can just shoot them to us in comments, and we'll get back to you. And
Now
uh,
the other thing is the safety play. I want to see
mm,
what he does with our safeties because Marinelli was not a big safety guy. He just basically didn't think safety was an important position.
I mean, they literally went through drafts and drafts, and he just said that basically safety was just a non. That we just,
Well, yeah, and then when you watch Marinelli's teams play, when you're watching the all 22, you really couldn't even see the safety. He would have the
mm,
safety so far down the field, and it was just a non-factor. So I'm just so I'm gonna be watching. I'm not concerned. I'm really good with Shotty. I think Jerry has gotten lucky. I think he done found that coach that he thought Jason Garrett was. I
mm,
think Shotty is that guy, and what he's gonna do, more importantly, when we play, when we go through training camp, when we come out of games, when
mm,
Dak and CD, our running backs, whoever we have, if they go into him saying, "Hey, we need to get out of this play. This is not working," he's gonna listen.
yep.
McCarthy wasn't listening.
No, McCarthy actually. You mean to tell me that this is confirmed that you actually had a coach that said that I'm not gonna let y'all. He actually pushed back on them
Mhm.
adding motion. He actually
Yeah.
pushed back on them adding new innovative plays. He actually pushed back. Listen, I keep telling people this because I want people to understand the magnitude of this and how this is because I want to know if other organizations are going through this. we actually have a thing with the last 2 or 3 years with McCarthy where the players have to have a meeting with the coach and tell him, like, look, coach, the stuff that you're doing and your stuff that you want us to do, it ain't working. And we need to do this. And then you'll see a switch. Prime example, 2 years ago, before we was playing, we had the 49ers. We had the 49ers, and then we had the bye. And so the 49er game, after the bye, they came out and looked like a totally different team.
Well, it's kind of being confirmed now that a big part of that was Shoddy.
I mean, well, what they said was that Shoddy was a part of Dak and CD of the group that went into his office and had that conversation. But I'm just saying
that
this
past season, McCarthy wasn't hearing any of that. He was just like, he not talking, not making no changes, and he ain't doing.
And because McCarthy just like he had already been told, he was on a lame duck year, so he like, nah, if I'm going out, how I want to go out.
And when they interviewed him for the job, when they had the meeting with him,
they told
what they're saying is one of the requirements is if you come back, Shoddy is calling the plays. Yep. He was just like, I'm out. I ain't doing it. Yeah, so I assumed they was going to try to bring somebody in from the outside, but it sounds like
Shoddy, because they were understanding that Shoddy from the past 2 or 3 years. Well, they were talking to Dak and CD, and they was talking to the players, and the players was telling them like, nah, Shoddy can get the job done. Trust me.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they haven't been there with him. And then like I said, we've seen results. We've seen
and they say he spent a lot of time talking to the defense, getting them ready for games. So that's like I'm telling you, I'm just really feeling good about the head coach. I think Jared might just get lucky, and
let me tell you
how to coach.
Let me tell you something that's giving me that feeling as well. It's the fact that Shoddy going to the tree. You see, Shoddy going to the tree and saying who runs the ball, who's coaching the guys that run the ball the best. Let's figure that out. And he's interviewing them guys. You see what I'm saying? And then I want to know now. See, Shoddy feels like a CEO coach, and he acts like a CEO coach, and it's looking like a CEO coach. And how you got
his dad was
okay, great. He's like, how man, I always look at myself like this. I'll be in class or I'll be at work, and I'll be in class or I'll be at work. The best example the most recent example I can use is in class. Now I'm taking this math class at school. It's a hard class, but I'm quiet in class. I really don't say too much, and I really don't do anything. I really don't say too much, but I know in my brain, all of the answers. I'm getting it. I'm zoned in. I'm doing my problems. I'm doing them and I'm getting them right. So when it come down to a group assignment, a group project, we had to have a leader in our group projects. Everybody was just like trying to pick a leader. Nobody was looking at me to be the leader. So I volunteered and was like, no, I need to be the leader on this. I'm telling y'all, I got this down pat and I'm going to perform. I feel like Shoddy's going to be the same way. Nobody's looking at Shoddy, but he's going to come in. He's equipped to do the job and he's going to do it good. I think that, these coaches, they have to coach against the Joneses because they have to come in and there's no way that Jerry and Steven will hire Shoddy and call him, their guy and all of this, and then come in and not give him the tools that he needs to succeed. Why would you come in and not draft this man a running back when you know you need one? Why would you come in and not get CD a second receiver when you know he need one? Now Dak is not as mobile as he needs to be, as he once was. Why would you come in and let Tyler Guyton get him smoked? No, that has to be. You have to help Shoddy help the team, and then Shoddy is a player's coach. He deals with the players more than he deals with the Joneses and deals with the staff, so to speak. So it's just like he's gonna come in and tell them this is what Dak needs, this is what CD needs, this is what they need. Dak needs a running back, so we need to run the ball effectively if we want to win games because Dak is not as mobile as he used to be. So my whole thought process is I think that they are going to do more than they've done previously in free agency, and also I'm saying this too. Free agency this year don't look like it did last year. It ain't even, the best running back free agent is Aaron Jones, and other than that, I would say it's Rico. So it ain't
Well,
no.
no, and I've been saying we got to take. I think we have to take two backs in this draft some kind of way.
Okay.
I wish we had our forwards because we're probably going to need to draft two backs. But I was going to go expand on what you said about Shotty. So his dad, Marty, him and Parcells, they were pretty much equals. The only difference is Marty Schottenheimer, he got to the AFC Championship game 3 times. He wasn't able to punch through, whereas Parcells did. But his dad was the same kind of coach. He was his teams. They were not heavily penalized teams. They were very disciplined. They didn't make a lot of mistakes. Very smart, physical. So his brand of football, it was the equal of Parcells. He just didn't break through. He got to the NFC Championship game, had it won a couple of times,
I'm
and
team Shotty. I'm team Shotty.
and
Because
then and what I was going to say about McCarthy, the problem with McCarthy is McCarthy was supposed to be Andy Reid 2.0. That's what Jerry Jones and Steven thought they were hiring, but he really wasn't. He never did, come up to be Andy Reid 2.0. He
well,
was just McCarthy.
Andy Reid was going to championships back to back to back to back to back. Did McCarthy do that?
Well, McCarthy won one,
Yeah, but
and then he
Andy
did go to NFC Championship game a couple times and he lost. So I
yeah.
will say this: Jason Garrett in 10 years never made it to an NFC Championship game. McCarthy in his career, I believe, made it to 3. And who else were we talking about? Well, of
Andy
course,
Reid.
Andy Reid. And so, but yeah, so look, it's gonna
No,
all.
there's a debate right now that Andy
Mm,
Reid might be the best coach ever.
I don't think he's gonna eclipse Belichick. I don't.
Well,
Belichick, yeah, it's
I mean,
Belichick is still the master. You gotta understand. Belichick has 2 rings with the Giants. He has 6 with the Patriots. Uh, they went to him and Parcells went to another Super Bowl. They lost. When New England went that year, when they played Green Bay and lost to Brett Favre,
mm-hmm,
Bill Parcells and Belichick were the coaches on that team. That
right.
was Parcells' team.
Yeah, he was the
So
defensive coordinator.
I don't think. I mean, look, I would say this: could they be equals at some point? I don't think he's there yet.
Well, when you look at the list right now, he's number 2 and Belichick is number 1. But also, you know, uh Andy Reid
Now,
is still
are
in
you
the
talking
game.
about best overall in history?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, those you got to put them up there, of course.
No, they
But
number 1 and 2, or like number 1 and
yeah,
3. I think no, Don Shula is number 1, I think, or something like that.
yeah,
But
I don't think. To me, when I go back and look at the coaches, like if you had to do like the Mount Rushmore or whatever, you got Chuck Noll, you got Tom Landry,
they
and
wasn't
then
on the list. Well, they was
then
they was like they wasn't up. They won 1, 2, and 3.
you got to have Landry, Chuck Noll, and then Belichick and Andy Reid. Now, I don't. You're not gonna find who's better than Chuck Noll and Landry. Who do they have? It
Well,
wasn't
let's
Don
see.
Shula.
Well, you can just go. I'm gonna just put it in. It says Tom Landry 5, Andy Reid 4, George Hallis number 3, Belichick number 2, Don Shula number 1.
No, no, that's. I
They're
mean,
probably going off of wins, I would say.
no.
But
Are they
all of
going
that,
off of wins?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's
win
wins,
win
not
percentage,
the
yeah.
best coach. Yeah, I got you. That's the all time wins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then also Andy Reid is still in this thing. He might win another one in a week.
they gonna win if he want to stay around. How old is Patrick Mahomes?
He ain't old. Let me see,
And the way
Patrick
they
Mahomes,
draft and the way they do free agency, they
he
they building
29.
they building a Death Star. Okay, and somebody has to stop them. It's gonna be the Bills, the Ravens, and see, and that's the other thing that I hope that Shotty does. Some of these coaches that they have, and it's the front office too. You got to have the mentality that you got to come to the office every day and just say we building a Death Star. We trying to get 10 more rings. We trying to get 20 more rings. We trying to get 30 more rings. We trying to get 40 more rings. We trying to get 50 more rings. We trying to get 60 more rings. We trying to get 70 more rings. We trying to get 80 more rings. We trying to get 90 more rings. We trying to get 100 more rings. We trying to get 200 more rings. We trying to get 300 more rings. We trying to get 400 more rings. We trying to get 500 more rings. We trying to get 600 more rings. We trying to get 700 more rings. We trying to get 800 more rings. We trying to get 900 more rings. We trying to get 1000 more rings. We trying to get 2000 more rings. We trying to get 3000 more rings. We trying to get 4000 more rings. We trying to get 5000 more rings. We trying to get 6000 more rings. We trying to get 700000 more rings. We trying to get 800000 more rings. We trying to the best tackle, the best linebacker, the best safety, the best running backs, and they haven't done that. They had this thing where they just we gonna build one part of the team and the other part of the team we gonna do receiver by committee.
No.
We don't want Bobby Ragnar, we want LVE.
Mm-mm.
Uh, we're okay with Jeff Heath at safety.
No.
And then this past year, they're just like, we got a couple of running backs, and we're not really sure. We're not that big on running backs. What's up? The Chiefs, the 49ers, the Eagles. Let me tell you something. What's the Eagles general manager? Harry Roseman. Okay, dude, they trying to build a Death Star. Okay, that's what they're doing. All you Star Wars fans, that's what they're doing. And
Mm-hmm.
so our front office, they need to get it. They don't have that mentality. But
And like I said, that's another thing what I like about Shotty. It seems like, if the coaches have influence on what the Joneses do, then they don't have to get it. Whoever the coach is gets it, and that's what we're
hey,
seeing right now. That's why you got Clayton Adams in here, and that's why
and
you
uh
know
and Patrick Nosey Walker and some of the legacy media members, I would just love for them to get in the next Cowboy press conference and say to Steven and Jerry, do you understand what the Eagles are building? Do you understand what they trying to put together? What
I
they
mean,
doing? Do
I
you
mean,
look at what the Chiefs are doing?
check
They
it out.
they yeah.
The Eagles last year, they got put out in the first round by Tampa Bay. Okay. They
Mm.
went in the offseason. They had a hell of a draft. You hear me?
Well,
They had
yeah,
a hell of a draft. They picked right around where we did. Well, they had 2 picks, I think. But anyways,
they're
they
gonna
had a
draft
good.
good this year.
They gonna draft good this year. They had a good draft, and then they went and got
We
Saquon
we
Barkley.
could have got no. We could have had Nolan Smith.
That's
We
crazy.
passed him up.
We could have had we could have had Saquon Barkley
Yeah.
or
But
Derrick Henry.
who did we pick when Cooper DeJean got picked?
Was he their first round pick?
He might have been a second round pick. He might
We
have been a
picked
first. I can't remember.
we picked Tyler Guyton.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, I hope that Shotty comes in and the first thing he does is tell the front office, Tyler Guyton, we're not giving him anything, and we're not moving him to right tackle to cut Steele. I'm not moving Tyler Guyton to right tackle to cut Steele. I'm not doing that. I will let Tyler Guyton know he can go over there and compete for the job, but I'm not cutting Terrence Steele to move Tyler Guyton over there. The other thing I'm doing, if I don't take Simmons in the first round, I'm gonna tell Tyler Guyton he's competing with Awesome Richards for that job. And
Yeah.
Awesome Richards, to me, is a better player.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, what Shotty will do is take a page out of. I would love for Shotty to go talk to Jimmy too. Go talk to Jimmy about just competition and how you get your team ready, and you just tell everybody, ain't nobody got a safe job, especially like on that line. I would just let it be known that we're gonna have a training camp. We're gonna break the pool stick. Whoever get that's what we finna do. Ain't nobody being given.
Dak. And see, I'm a Dak fan. And I know
Mm-hmm.
that when Dak mess up, he mess up. It is what it is. But Dak is like a CEO quarterback. That's how they be treating him. It's gonna be Dak. He gonna be the one that's gonna be telling Tyler Guyton, yo, listen, this is what you're doing, or you're not playing.
Well, no, Dak is gonna be probably uh, telling him he needs to go get out the field.
Exactly.
Yeah, so but that's if Dak really wants to go to the next level, that's what it's gonna take. So no, so I'm not cutting Steele that June 1st cut to save money. I'm not doing that. And
People
if
be people be thinking Dak is all quiet, and people be thinking that Dak is all, just
yeah,
Dak don't be.
but if they're forced to take Simmons with that 12th pick, that Guyton is just gonna be on the team trying to get in where he can fit in. That's what
Yeah,
I'm doing.
and ain't nothing wrong with that at this point. Ain't nothing wrong with
No,
that. If
no.
you got to take Simmons right there, just take him. I mean, just take him. And if Guyton just has to be a bust, he can just be a bust. But we're not
You
gonna
gotta
lose
remember,
because of
yeah,
you.
you gotta remember too, with our new O-line coach or coaches, they're
Yeah,
not gonna be obligated to these guys now. They didn't pick them. They're not their guys, so
they
that's what
ain't
you're
they
gonna
got.
see.
And it's
Mm.
almost like I told you with those 2 void years and the $25 million in cap space that they had left over from last year that they using to pay these other players next year. They starting over. Really. They're gonna be fresh. They're gonna be starting over fresh. They can snap their fingers and create a lot of money in free agency. So these guys, they don't have to be loyal to nobody. No, we're not.
And I'm hoping that Shotty, have we had a receivers coach yet? We lost our receivers coach, but we haven't hired one, right?
I don't think so. And I'm just glad that we lost our receivers coach because I was hearing a lot of bad stuff about him.
Yeah, Clarence Hill didn't like him. So I'm hoping our receivers coach come in and let our receivers know, other than CD, that you guys, y'all, everybody's fighting for a spot, because I don't think our number 2 and number 3 receiver is on the team. I don't.
And this is another thing. They have to do this in this draft. They have to get a receiver. This draft with these receivers. You gotta get them. And it's not like it was 10 years ago when CD. I think CD's draft was the first of one of the drafts where it's just like, okay, these guys are NFL ready when they come in. They playing. Him, Jefferson, homeboy that went to the Raiders, and then you got a Chase and all of them. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, he came a little later, but it's just like they coming in ready to go. But you know what I mean? So I think Tet and all of them gonna fall to us. I think Tet and what's his name is gonna be Luther. I think one of them is gonna be there when we pick. I do. That's what I think. I think one of them is gonna be there. I think Luther gonna be there, and I think that Genty gonna be gone. I think that somebody gonna try to move up to get Genty, and then they gonna move up and get Genty.
And I would be fine with Ibuka if we take him.
Hey, Buka, I see players like that. They ready to go.
Yeah.
And so
you just sign a veteran like you sign Stephon Diggs. You kick the tires on him. You kick the tires on Amari Cooper. Yeah. Well, Amari Cooper. Was Keenan Allen on your list of free agents?
Yeah.
So those are the guys that you need to kick the tires on, and you bring them in. And then if I'm the coach, Mingo, Tolbert, y'all fighting for the fourth spot.
Y'all might not receiver. Y'all might not make the cut, fam. Well, I'll say Mingo. Tolbert.
You ready to go ahead and wrap?
Yeah, we can wrap. We can wrap.
Trying to watch your boxing.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah. I'm gonna go watch it. But yeah, we can cut. But yeah, I feel like these coaching hires have turned things around for me. These coaching hires, and I think that they are going to do something in free agency. I mean, it'd be real easy to do. They can do something in free agency. They can draft well, because the things that we need, ironically, those are the things that this draft is heavy in. So, the running back situation. If this was my team, my organization, I would sign Rico and draft a first or second round running back. That's what I would do. I'd have both of them. Also, I'd do the same thing with trading and getting a wide receiver. I would trade for a receiver. That's what I would do. I would trade for Tyreek Hill. I would trade for a veteran receiver and just put my team over the top. I would have two running backs,
right?
Yeah, but he would go for like a one, maybe two. Ones or something like that. He's a good guy. He's good. So I would, and then they got with their Aaron Glenn, they ain't letting him go nowhere. So that's out of there now. And there's no way that Aaron Glenn would let him Wilson go. He finna be the face of their franchise.
But some of the free agent guys, if you draft Burton, Ibuka, if you get Trey Harris in the third round or Savion Williams, you bring in a veteran, just Keenan Allen. I would still look at Brandon Cooks, just kind of see where he's at.
Yeah, and they kind of Brandon Cooks. They did him bad.
And Shotty probably likes Brandon Cook, so that's what I'm trying to do at the third receiver spot, and then you'll be good there. So we can go ahead and wrap.
Yeah, let's do a mock before we draft.
Okay, go ahead.
We roll real quick, and then we can roll out. Let's see. We can do a fast one with no trades. We don't have to do no trades. Let me put it on up here. All right, man. Look at this. The first trade says, are you seeing this? You see my screen?
Yeah, I don't want to go to 23.
Okay. No.
Now, that one's looks
We can
going
we can
down 6 spots.
yeah, going down 6 spots and picking up 50.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So I'm gonna reject the rest of these. All right. So Kelvin Banks is right there. Um, man, what did we do when we did that?
We traded that. We traded away for some good players.
Yeah. Egbuka is there.
So
That's
go over here on your left on the thing over here. They got Ted win at 16.
yeah.
Wow.
And Luther
Luther
went
win
before
at
him.
14.
Tyler Warren went at 13. Whew.
Who ended up going at 12? Genty is way up there.
And that's how it's gonna be in real life.
So who ended up? Mikael Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in this scenario, I'm completely fine with Ibuka. That's just I'm just gonna draft Ibuka and keep it moving now. Will they do that? So who they got rated higher than him over here? Well, you already took him. That's okay. So we took Ibuka. We gonna turn that down. Oh, they
One
want us to go
spot,
one.
one spot and pick up 116. So when that happens, that means that they want someone on this
Somebody.
board.
Okay, we can take that. So we got Ibuka.
Yeah.
So when we come back over here, I'm looking to see what the running backs are.
Quinshawn Johnson, Travion Henderson, Scatterboo.
Oh boy. Looking at that list, do you like Caleb Johnson over Travion Henderson?
Yeah.
You do like Caleb better?
Yeah.
Travion just fast though. Is Caleb the one that kind of looks like DeMarco Murray?
Yeah.
Okay, we can take him. I would take Henderson. We need speed.
We can take Henderson. I'll take Henderson.
Let's do that.
I just want one. I just want one of them. I don't really, because we picking again right here though. Hey, I mean these are some good trades. They want us to go back 4 spots and pick up 123.
Okay, let's take that.
Okay, we can reject the rest of this.
So we got Caleb, we got Travion Henderson, we got Ibuka. Who we got over here? Who they recommending?
Let's see.
A lot of people like Restrepo. I don't like him.
Yeah.
On my team, he would be a fourth receiver. So who we got over here?
The Clemson linebacker that we always see, Isaiah Bond.
Vach and Broadus had him as a 5th rounder.
Woo.
TJ
Sanders down here. Savion down here.
Man, the way this is looking, we might have to go. So there's a defensive tackle that they keep talking about. I'm trying to look at your defensive tackles. Who's on here?
Shamar Turner.
It's not Turner.
TJ Sanders, Omar Norman Lott, Alfred Collins.
The guy I'm talking about look like he's gone.
Elijah Roberts, Jordan Phillips from Maryland.
So just go back to who they recommending.
Restrepo. Now
we got taking. So who else is right below that?
Princely Umana Milan.
He's an edge.
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about him.
Barrett Carter, they said he was a 5th round pick.
The linebacker from Clemson, yeah. Man, boy, I mean, we could be keeping it a buck. We could take Junkins right there,
or Savion,
for real. We got Ibuka,
and we got Egbuka, and because if you take Savion to me, and we got Travion Henderson, if you take Travion, that's Savion to me. That's like 2 and 1. You getting a receiver and you getting like somebody that can come out the backfield.
Yeah, I would take. Do they have Junkins rated higher than Savion?
Quinshawn Junkins, yeah, they do.
He back up there at the top.
Yeah,
he's right there. So he's ranked 64.
Yeah,
Savion is ranked what?
71. I'm
So
taking.
let's take Savion because we can still get another back. We got some more picks.
We
This
ain't
would be
doing
like a
nothing.
crazy draft.
Yeah,
We
we
gonna
ain't
we
doing.
not we gonna do no more trades. So our next pick is 76.
Mm-hmm.
What I gotta do when we doing these, I gotta do the math. So 76, that's the third round,
Yeah, you can
right?
look over here and see what the round it is. It's the third round.
Okay, I can't see that. Okay, yeah, there you go. That's what I need. Okay. So now who's over here? They recommending.
They recommending
Ooh,
TJ Sam.
Makuba is there.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Makuba.
Ooh man, yeah, definitely. Who else? Who's below him?
Denzel Burke, Ohio State cornerback.
I'm taking Makuba.
Yeah, taking Makuba all day.
Now the
And
kind of draft we having right now, this is the kind of stuff that the Eagles be doing.
then, mm-hmm.
And we
Dang.
still in round 4.
Yep. Jay Higgins, Iowa linebacker. Uh, mm, Lander Barton. And that name sounds familiar. Uh, Stutzman.
I would just take the linebacker that's at the top up there, whoever that is, the first one on the board.
Jay Higgins.
Yeah.
We always be looking up Stutzman because we always get him. Danny Stutzman from linebacker from Oklahoma. But I'm taking you're right, Jay Higgins. I'm taking the linebacker. And then we got another pick.
And we in the 4th.
We're in the 4th. So Oregon tight end. Uh, mm,
I'm looking for another back. Ollie Gordon is there.
you gotta take him.
I would take him right here. Yeah.
We got
Okay.
Savion and what's his
So we
name?
haven't taken the edge, have we?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Let me see. We can look.
No, we haven't taken the edge.
No,
Who
we
they
can look
got
at our
over there?
picks right here. Look at our picks. These are our picks.
Yeah.
Our picks are Igbuka, Travion Henderson, Savion Williams, Makuba, Jay Higgins. If we had this kind of draft,
And go back over to your right. We need a go back up. So they got a center. You got another linebacker, tight end. I don't know about Terrence Ferguson. I don't know about him at all. I do know I like Fannin. I like the tight end from Penn State. Of course, they're definitely gone.
Warren, yeah.
I'm assuming that if I was just doing this, if we don't have Rico, I would take Ollie Gordon right here. I'm just assuming we're not going to have Rico. So we going this draft is just loaded with weapons. So we didn't get an edge, which I don't really care about that. We didn't get a defensive tackle, which they probably not going to do that.
No.
So yeah, this is just kind of
you got free agency too, so
yeah. You just loaded Dak up with this draft.
yeah.
Then
This right here,
you probably got a starting safety. You probably got both your running backs.
You got both your running backs. You got both your receivers, for sure.
Yeah, you got to. The thing about the receiver is what I like. They two different kinds. Because Savion is pretty much gonna be an X.
If you're the Dallas Cowboys and your receiving core is CeeDee Lamb, Igbuka, and Savion Williams, I don't know a better.
Yeah, you ain't got a better running back tandem probably either. With Henderson and then Makuba is probably your starting safety.
Yeah, and Wilson probably gonna be gone.
Yeah, and then you got Jay Higgins. I don't know a lot about him, but everybody that we got, I know who they are except for Higgins. But
I mean,
he'll probably be starting.
This draft right here, man. If we was to pull off something like this, it'd be game time. Now, what was his name? Higgins. Yeah, he not even on.
You not? How you get right there?
Well, let's see. He was ranked. Tankathon is 100, the top 100.
Oh, okay, yeah. So,
yeah, he's a 116.
Yeah, that draft right there would just be.
That would knock everybody's socks off.
And if they get to 12 and Genty is not there and Simmons is not there, can you see where Simmons went?
Yeah.
Where did he go?
He went to 25.
Oh, he went way down there.
Yeah, so
Well,
we picked over him. We picked Egbuka over him.
see, Vach and Brothers had him. They picked him at 12.
Well, we could have picked Egbuka. I mean, we could have picked him.
Yeah, we could have. But look at
So let me see. Now, what's his name again?
Josh Simmons,
Yeah, let's check him out.
Ohio State. He was hurt in the championship game. That's him right there. He looked like a tackle.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Number 71. Oh yeah, nah. He looked like who they want. Who he looked like who they thought Tyler Guyton was gonna be.
Tyler Guyton never looked like this.
Who was that? Who was number 1?
For who?
Who was that? Number 30. What? Who was that?
That's Henderson right there. That's running the ball.
Yeah, no, I was trying to. I guess it was another play I was looking at. I think. Let me see. I want to rewind that. I want to see who that was. I think it's this play coming up. Is this the one after this? Whoever that was, I want him. I want to see which running
Running back.
Yeah, it's right here. Who was that?
I don't know who that is. But this right here, that's Henderson. I mean, if you picked him, I wouldn't be,
Nah, especially with us, especially with that's Henderson. Whew. Oh man, yeah, nah, yeah. I would have picked
You don't
him.
remember Henderson breaking that play on UT? They had everybody spread out.
I'm talking about this tackle.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. But see, he got hurt now. Again, if you concerned about them taking hurt players.
Yeah, but I'm also concerned about Shotty going in overdrive on the run game.
He gonna be your starting.
Well, whoever that is, he must have got drafted last year. So whoever number 1 was for them last year.
I don't know who that was.
Yeah.
Who is that back?
I'm finna find out. Let me look that up.
Yeah, Ohio State. What they did, they used all that NIL money, and they just basically bought the team.
They got an NFL team.
Yeah, Texas could have beat them though.
Oh, that's Quinshon Judkins.
Oh, that's Junkins. Okay. I don't remember him being number 1.
Yeah, that's who that is. That's him right there. Yeah, that's Judkins. So yeah, so the question is Judkins or Henderson?
I like the speed factor because
Judkins look like he's the fastest one. Number 1 look like he's a number 1.
Just watching Junkins in a playoff, and I really hadn't even seen him play before. He just looks like a heavier, a bigger guy. No, did he? He looked more like DeMarco Murray to me. Henderson, he's not. Henderson is not as fast as Jameer, but he's in the ballpark. That's him right there. Look,
so,
let me say this right here.
Henderson runs a 4.4, and Judkins runs a 4.49.
The kind of line that we trying to build with our new line coach, if you give Henderson any kind of daylight, he's going all the way.
Well, that's what we need.
Well, Judkins can too, but now the tackle, he's 5-star now.
Mm-hmm.
He look like the tackle from the 49ers. What's his name? Trent. Is it Trent? What's his name?
Yeah.
No, he ended LVE's career. The tackle for the 49ers.
Yeah.
He played for
the best player on their team.
And he played for Washington at one point, and they got stupid and let him go.
Wow.
Yeah, he played for Washington originally.
And they traded for him, right?
I can't remember if they traded him but he fell out with them because he had an injury and their training staff was doing goofy stuff with him. He was like
running backs, boy, man. Texas, man. We had the chance to beat them, but boy.
Yeah, Texas could have beat them. But
Homeboy's good.
Yeah, we had him on the ropes.
Yeah, man. You
That
know,
team,
you
that
got
game, got down there
yeah,
on the goal line, and
Sark just, did a Sark.
yeah,
Well, we knew we was gonna lose that game. Where we gonna be? It was gonna be Sark and Quinn Ewers, and that's exactly what happened. Sark just kind of blew it.
and
But
everybody knew it was a championship game. The other game, Notre Dame didn't really have no chance.
nah,
They had the bracket all screwed up. That should have been the title. They should have had Texas and Ohio State in the opposite bracket.
yeah, and
But
Texas
see,
gonna
I
be
didn't I didn't think Oregon. Well, Texas losing a lot of people too, but they Texas, so they can do what Ohio State did. They can literally just rebuild a team in one off season.
They will. They are
Yeah,
going
he
to
looked
do
like
that.
his name is what's the tackle for the 49ers? Is it Trent Green? What is his name?
Let me see.
You know what I'm talking about.
Trent Williams.
Yeah, Trent Williams. Yeah, but yeah, Ohio State they put everybody on notice when they played Oregon in that Rose Bowl. They just like,
Hmm.
yeah, he's a good tackle. So we can go ahead and wrap.
Okay. I'm trying to see how he got. Yeah, he was traded in exchange for a fifth round pick and a third round pick.
Yeah, he was
Stupid.
playing for that goofy John Gruden brother. He wasn't no good coach.
No, man. All right. Well, so yeah, we're gonna wrap it up, guys, and it was a good show. We appreciate all of the viewers. Make sure you all comment, like, and subscribe. We trying to get our followers to go up. Make sure y'all follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. It's all the same as Generation to Generation Cowboys and Sports Talks, Gen to Gen Cast, GEN2, or GEN the number two, GENCAST. And we want to shout out to Star Gazer, and we got a lot of shows. We got some shows coming up. We got a circuit that we finna go on. We finna be talking to some other cowboy content creators and other sports content creators and just other content creators in general. It's a couple of things that we got lined up that's not even really necessarily about Cowboys, but y'all make sure y'all just we're gonna be posting the link to everything. So y'all, everything we doing is community based, and we just doing us. We're a father and son tandem or duo, and we just um, doing it the way we doing it. All we do is we love the Cowboys. We've been Cowboys fans. I'm a fourth generation. My dad is a third generation, and that's how we doing things. So y'all make sure y'all follow us, comment, like, and subscribe. And shout out to all of our new followers. Y'all make sure y'all like and hit the notification bell so y'all can see when we go live. And y'all make sure y'all donate when y'all can so we can make some improvements to our studio. I'm gonna
Do you
post
have a link? You gonna put a link on there for our Cash App?
I'm gonna put the link on there. It's gonna be in the description of the video. So y'all check that out. And yeah, we'll be back. What's today? Saturday. So what? We probably be back what, Monday?
Yeah. So we'll do a show Monday, and then we'll do shout out to all of the noops, all of the D9 members. I'm a noop with the Mecca Dallas alumni, Kappa Alpha Psi chapter here in Dallas, and then I'm a Carter Cowboy for life, Cowboy for life. So I'm a true Cowboy for life. So shout out to all of my Carter High School classmates.
Shout out to all my DeSoto and Bishop Dunn classmates, my DeSoto Eagle classmates. Shout out to all my Bishop Dunn Falcon classmates. And so shout out to everybody in the Oak Cliff area, Dallas area, Texas, everywhere. Just shout out, y'all. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.